All right. We're live.
We're
Hello.
live. Hi. So I've been cooking Thanksgiving dinner all day while Scott has been working on our new podcasting space.
Yeah. This is kind of the new digs. This is, I'll call it studio version 1.0. We've been what you've seen the past few years from our living room table has been for us podcast studio version 0.5, version 0.6. And we've kind of been trying to invest in what we've been wanting to do for a little while. We kind of sort of been building this up. And so this is what you guys are going to start seeing. We're going to try to start doing some more video podcasts. And we're just going to jump right into this one because this was kind of an impromptu. We weren't planning on doing this and talking about the most debatable holiday films.
So we were downstairs. We had just had Thanksgiving dinner, and we're sitting there, and we're talking about what movies should we watch, and we're like, "What is a Thanksgiving movie? What is a Christmas movie?" And we're throwing movie ideas out there, and we're like, "No, yes, maybe." And I was like, "Did you know this was a holiday movie?" And Scott's like, "No, it's not." And I said, "This would be a great debate to have." And with our whoever's around right now, I know it's Thanksgiving. I know you're probably with your families, but I know maybe sometimes people are home now and they're also debating what movies to watch. So,
and we didn't, like I said, we did not. We thought about this about 20 minutes ago.
yeah, like I'm not even. This is what I cooked in.
So some of the ones that we
Cheers.
had started discussing was some of the obvious ones that are kind of excuse me, on the fence. So, Die Hard is always debatable.
Okay, so we're going to talk about first. Let's talk about Thanksgiving movies.
Okay.
And then we're going to go into Christmas movies.
So to frame this, I asked Jen to come up with a list. So I'm not going to be driving here on Talk with History. Jen's going to kind of.
He's more reacting.
I'm reacting. So I asked her to come up with a list. I'm going to react to kind of, is this a holiday movie? Is this a Thanksgiving or a Christmas movie? And we'll talk about it that way. And if you join us and you end up in the chat, even though we're posting this kind of completely impromptu.
Sure.
Or if you're watching this after the fact,
we'll read the comments.
Definitely put your thoughts on these movies in the comments, because I would love to see what you guys, our audience, think of all these movies.
So Thanksgiving, we always would watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That movie with Steve Martin and John Candy, where they're trying to make it home.
1,000% a Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah. And so that was always like, we'll watch that movie, but we watch it so much. Now, one movie that people don't really like think about as a Thanksgiving movie, but it's totally a Thanksgiving movie, is Rocky.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that before we came up, and I'm not totally sold, but I get it.
So, I mean, Paulie throws the turkey out the window.
Because it is, and you're talking Rocky 1.
Rocky 1.
Because it kind of starts right around Thanksgiving or just before, and it goes all the way through New Year's.
Yeah, like that's the whole premise, is he is picked last minute to fight this fight. He gets the chance to fight the champ, right? And I think it's because of his name, Italian Stallion. And it's like the is it the bicentennial of America, 1775, 1776? Yep. So it's like, so he's getting his chance to fight the heavyweight champion of the world, Apollo Creed, the little Funko we have on the top up there.
Right above my head.
And I just think he's one of the greatest characters of all time. And so it's taking place from Thanksgiving to New Year's.
Yeah. So, and that's what's hilarious. You look back at that movie, and they basically gave him like 3 weeks to get in shape to fight the world champion.
We're good thing he was in pretty decent shape anyway. But you're right, he does. Like he's all in, and the champ doesn't really, right?
Right.
Like that's the whole thing.
He doesn't take it seriously at all.
Like Apollo's not training, so that's kind of like why he really gets his chance, is because Apollo's just watching TV and doing business deals and stuff.
So that I think you could say that that's a Thanksgiving movie. I don't think most people would think of Thanksgiving and watch that, but I think that's arguable. What's another movie that's in that same genre?
So you're gonna die when you hear this. Oh, Rocky 2. He fights Apollo Creed in Rocky 2 on Thanksgiving Day.
Does he really?
November 25th. 1976.
Yes.
So he's supposed to basically get his chance again, and he trains that whole time, and so does Apollo.
So
that's a real Thanksgiving of Rocky.
Again, I think I can see the argument, but for that one again, because a lot of the Thanksgiving movies or a Christmas movie, even the ones that are kind of on the fence, the classic ones that are on the fence, they typically have themes of that holiday through the movie.
Sure.
And in Rocky 2, I don't really see that in there.
Well, what other movie takes place on Thanksgiving Day? Like besides Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, like
I
what
mean,
takes place on Thanksgiving Day?
isn't Uncle Buck right around the Thanksgiving season
I
with
don't.
another John Candy movie?
It is another junk. I don't know if he's watching the kids on Thanksgiving.
It's definitely in the holiday season.
Definitely in the holiday season. Well, if you want to think like Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, what's the argument there? That's an obvious Christmas movie.
Well, she's at the parade. She's at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah, but it's all about Santa Claus.
Yeah,
right?
but like that parade takes place on Thanksgiving. So that makes sense. No?
No, that's 2000% a Christmas movie.
It's very hard to find a movie that actually takes place on Thanksgiving. There's a lot of like when you think of like Christmas Vacation, they're cutting the turkey, but it's Christmas Day. They're having a turkey for Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But it's I'm trying to think like what movie takes place on Thanksgiving.
There's not many, right? So there's not many Thanksgiving. There's lots of like holiday season-esque ones that people probably watch around Thanksgiving. Like what's that one that you like? The Family Stone.
I like The Family Stone, but that's also
Is that Christmas?
Christmas. That's totally Christmas.
Yeah. So Christmas is the typical one, right? So we're here to kind of to talk.
So
about
like what goes into Christmas? Like what's a Christmas movie?
What's a Christmas movie, or what's a debatable Christmas movie?
Because what movie were we going to watch tonight? And we're still thinking of watching it.
So there was a couple that we had listed. There was, and now this one I would kind of lean more in the Thanksgiving. You could watch it anywhere between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, and that was When Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
So when Harry Met Sally, that kind of has Thanksgiving vibes, but like the big crescendo scene when he kind of confesses his feelings for her is obviously New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and I think that's a more of a New Year's Eve movie.
And I think so. And the toss up for us tonight was either Sleepless in Seattle.
Yes,
because it's not really a holiday movie, but it's a movie that you would watch around the holidays.
Well, don't they? They meet on the Empire State Building on Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day, but I don't see that as a Valentine's Day movie.
No,
I see that as kind of like a fall, winter.
Is it Valentine's Day or is it New Year's Day?
I don't know.
I can't forget. I hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
But if anybody watches this after the fact, please comment and correct us if we are wrong on these things. So it was either When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle.
Yep.
What was the third one?
While You Were Sleeping.
While You Were Sleeping.
Which is definitely Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's going to his family's house. Or maybe it's Thanksgiving. Isn't he? He's going to his family's house for Thanksgiving and falls on the tracks.
That one I don't know.
Or maybe it's Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it's Christmas because they celebrate Christmas. So what's a Christmas movie, right? So Scott and I have been married 18 years. I lost this debate a long time ago that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
And I think nationally, right? Please put in the comments if you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not. If you don't think it's a Christmas movie, I need your justification why. Because it happens on Christmas Eve. It has Christmas themes all throughout. They're at a Christmas party in the Nakatomi Plaza.
He writes ho ho ho.
He writes ho 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 on the bad guy's shirt in blood. Right now I have guns. So it is absolutely a Christmas movie. I feel like that argument has been put to rest.
Sure.
If you disagree, please comment.
But if that's a Christmas movie, then like Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie.
So Lethal Weapon, I would put like as like kind of a Christmas movie because it starts on Christmas, but it doesn't stay Christmas the entire time.
That's true.
Right. So if you remember Lethal Weapon, if it's been a little while, go back and watch them because
they're awesome.
Classic. But I think like the opening scene is Riggs, like, depressed on Christmas.
No, and it's the girl falling from the balcony.
Tower. Yeah.
And it's a Christmas tree and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it opens with like Jingle Bell Rock.
Yeah, it does. So it starts, and it probably got released right around that time.
Yeah,
is what I would guess. And so again, I think that one is arguable because kind of what we did last year is we had kind of run through all of our Christmas movies, and we're like, you know what, we should watch Lethal Weapon. Then we watched Lethal Weapon 1, Lethal Weapon 2, Lethal Weapon 3.
We watched them all. So I was thinking about what else takes place during Christmas. You know what movie takes place during Christmas? I kind of forgot. Was Batman Returns.
Like the Christian Bale one?
No, the one
second Michael Keaton.
Yeah, with Catwoman
It does.
and Penguin.
It does.
That's Christmas.
It is.
That's Christmas.
Again, I wouldn't say just because something happens at movies around Christmas makes it a Christmas movie. But that's a good argument there. You could make that argument, but I wouldn't say that there's like the Christmas that they use the Christmas theme throughout.
No, but I mean, they light the Christmas tree. Remember, like that was a big thing there in the Times Square.
That's kind of what was happening around Gotham City.
Well, Gremlins.
Gremlins is a Christmas movie?
Because he buys the Magpie as a Christmas present.
Oh my gosh, there's so many not Christmas movies.
So that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
There's so many movies. They use Christmas as part of the story.
Yeah.
Right. And
well, it's an easy, was it Adventures of Babysitting? No, that's not Christmas.
That's not Christmas.
That's just kind of a any day type.
But they're
thing.
going to a holiday party, but I think it's just a work party.
All right. So what's the next one on your list?
So I was thinking Trading Places.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Was that Christmas or Thanksgiving?
It's Christmas because remember he's just a Santa and he puts all the food in it.
That's right. So if you haven't seen Trading Places,
Dan Aykroyd
and Eddie Murphy, it was an amazing comedy. It's probably what, mid-80s?
Yeah, and it's great. It's like a reversal of Fortune kind of thing.
Yeah, essentially, like doesn't Eddie Murphy plays?
He's like a bum,
like kind of like almost homeless, type
yeah,
person, or just down on his luck or something.
Yes, like and Dan Aykroyd is like this affluent Wall Street,
brought up in the riches of rich
trader,
and they basically inadvertently kind of trade places
with these two old men who own the stock exchange, and for fun they like to mess with people's lives.
That's right,
and they bet each other $1 that they could take the guy off the street because they just see him and put him into the place of the rich stockbroker who works for them and make the stockbroker the homeless guy.
That's right. And they orchestrate that.
And, and then but the guys figure out what's happening.
Hilarity ensues. And it's hilarious.
So it's Dan Aykroyd.
So that's absolutely. So I like that movie, even though it happens around Christmas. Again, because it doesn't have the Christmas themes in there, but I would absolutely kind of say like Thanksgiving time is when I would probably watch that movie.
I would watch that. Like that could be a movie you could watch tonight.
Yeah.
Because I love those two old men.
Such a good movie.
They kind of remind me of Marley and Marley.
Yeah.
From the Muppets. Yeah. We're my favorite characters from the Muppets Christmas Carol, Marley and Marley.
Yeah.
Like those are
so Trading Places. That's a good one. I think that's leans more Thanksgiving, but I think that's a holiday season type. That's a good one.
Sure.
What's the next one?
So the Apartment. I don't know if you ever saw The Apartment.
No.
It's a great movie with Jack Lemmon. It's like one of his first movies, and it's Shirley MacLaine, and it's basically they're both kind of down on their luck. They have no one to hang out with, no one to talk to, and they end up staying in the apartment all weekend and playing cards.
Oh.
And I mean, the performances are just I mean, they're two Oscar winners.
In the 50s, 60s?
Yeah, I think it's in the 50s.
So you said it's called The Apartment? It's
called The Apartment. And it's I mean, it won Oscars. It's Billy Wilder directed it. Like, it's one of my old movies. I know that you're like, what? But
yeah. I absolutely do not know the movie.
It's that takes place during Christmas. But we have some go-tos that we always watch at Christmas time. Seven Brides or Seven Brothers.
So that one, when I say that to people, a lot of people, you either love it or you don't really know about it. Right? And I grew up loving that movie.
Yeah.
Partly because my mom used to watch musicals all the time when I was a kid. And the other part because I was a gymnast, right?
Yes.
So I appreciated kind of all the athletic dancing, and they actually had gymnasts that were a couple of the brothers and stuff like that. That's one of my personal kind of top 5 all-time favorite movies ever.
Yeah, and I think it's a great Christmas movie because they're basically snowed in.
Yeah.
And I think they're snowed in from November to May, right? Because it's spring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're what's her name's having a baby.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah. Millie.
Yeah.
So I think you could probably watch it at Thanksgiving and all through Christmas if you wanted to. I mean, you can watch it anytime. We watch it anytime. We love Seven Brides or Seven Brothers, and it's a great family movie.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's a real, it's not PC.
No, you cannot make that movie anymore, especially like the opening song, Bless Your
Beautiful Hide.
Bless Your Beautiful Hide, wherever you may be. I love that movie. And whenever I watch it again for my annual kind of watching of it, I end up like singing that to myself for the next like 2 weeks.
Oh, he's like heavenly eyes, but oh, that size.
He's so funny, and so like you just kind of couldn't have those lyrics in a song nowadays.
No.
Um, pretty and was it pretty and trim, but kind of slim or something like
Yeah,
that.
you're pretty and trim, but kind of slim.
I don't
Heavenly
know.
eyes, but oh,
Oh,
that
that
size.
So yeah, but that's a phenomenal movie, absolutely Christmas movie.
So there's a movie that you and I love.
Okay.
We've gotten ourselves in trouble recommending it to people because we forget how
Oh,
crass it is.
My gosh.
But we love this movie, and it's a Christmas movie.
So is this Just Friends?
Just Friends.
So if you haven't seen Just Friends, fair warning, if you like that kind of dumb, raunchy Ryan Reynolds kind of humor, you'll love this movie.
We love this movie.
If you don't watch it because you won't enjoy it. And we figured that out the hard way one family Christmas when we recommended it to our entire family, and we were laughing the entire time, and everybody was awkwardly silent. And so that was an awkward, kind of hour and a half, but we love that movie.
It's crass, and it has a lot of innuendos, and
it has more than innuendos. But the probably what I love most about that movie is the relationship and the acting between Ryan Reynolds and his brother in the movie. They just do a phenomenal job, and they're exactly like brothers would be.
Yes.
Just very fun Christmas movie. It's absolutely a Christmas movie. It's not really debatable.
Yeah.
But if you've never seen Just Friends and you like that kind of, I'll call it lowball humor, like we do, then you may enjoy that.
Yeah, that's a movie you and I always like. So I always watch Meet Me in St. Louis. You're not a fan of that.
So you're a big fan of Meet Me in St. Louis. And I think this tickles your kind of history funny bone for you, because I wouldn't call this like your classic Christmas movie, but it is set around that time.
Yes. And she sings the song "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." Like that's
what's the actress's name?
It's Judy Garland.
Yeah, Judy Garland. So it's kind of a classic Judy Garland movie. Set in like kind of World's Fair era.
Yeah, turn of like
1904-ish, right around there.
Yep.
And it's actually pretty well done movie. And it's if you like that era, I would actually recommend it for those folks who like those kind of movies.
When I think about it, that movie actually transverses Halloween all the way to Christmas.
That's right, because they do the Halloween.
They do the Halloween where they go out at night, and they're really bad.
Yeah, so
really
bad. This is like, I guess, like what Halloween kind of used to be.
Yeah.
Like they would actually go find things and burn them.
And kids would act really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of like, ew. But I do like Meet Me in St. Louis. I just love when she sings "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" at the end. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the entire movie. Another movie that's probably not debatable, Home Alone.
Yeah. Well, I think that is one of the classic Christmas movies.
Yeah.
I don't know kind of I don't know if like professionals, not us, we're going to rate the top Christmas movies of all time, but Home Alone would be probably top 3.
Yeah. It's taking place before Christmas because his family ends up back in his house on Christmas.
Yeah. But it's a Christmas movie. It's the whole theme, the whole everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you think about like the time that it takes to get to Christmas and before, Love Actually takes you out like 5 weeks before Christmas.
Yeah. So Love Actually is again, I don't think it's debatable that that's a Christmas movie.
But it could be.
I think
Thanksgiving.
I think it's definitely like an anytime in December type movie.
Yeah.
It's almost Thanksgiving, but really I think because again, strong themes of Christmas the entire time, and at the crescendo of the movie, the peak of the movie, right, is Christmas. Then I think you classify that as a Christmas movie.
Yeah. But it has lead up. So you could watch it anytime, really. Another one that I like is The Holiday.
So I don't watch that one as much.
I know.
You always watch that one like after I go to bed or whatever.
And I think that's
a good one.
It's leading up to Black, Christmas
Jude
as well.
Law.
Jude Law.
Yeah.
It's Cameron Diaz.
Yep.
And Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
It's really good.
That's good. I've watched it, but you definitely, that's a must watch for you every year.
I think that movie really brought into much more of the house swapping, but Airbnb kind of thing.
It's kind of before that was popular.
And then it became really popular after that. And then people going into 2 separate worlds, I guess, and then falling in love. And it's really great. And Jude Law looks really good in it. But they talk movies in that. At one point, he's in the movie store with her.
That's right.
And he's pulling movies and he's talking soundtracks.
Yeah.
Right. And how music can really change.
So that was called The Holiday.
called The Holiday.
The Holiday.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do I have on here that I wanted to talk about? Oh, of course, your favorite Christmas movie of all time.
I already said. Oh yeah, White Christmas.
White Christmas, right?
That's a. There's no argument there for me. Yeah, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye. It was just perfect movie.
But if you want to talk
Perfect
about
Christmas movie.
history,
Yep.
that movie is based on World War II.
Yep.
And then coming back and basically baby booming.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like all these couples kind of get together and they're able to really have a career because everyone wants to be entertained and forget about the war and how horrible it was. And then they meet women and
So
I really
I have some other debatable Christmas movies.
Okay. What are you thinking?
So we were kind of talking about these. So A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
I can never decide if that's a Halloween movie or if that's a Christmas movie. Now, because it has Christmas in the title and this whole thing is trying to make that land Christmas, but it still feels more like a Halloween movie to me. So I don't know. And I'd be curious if people who watch this video later, what you guys think of A Nightmare Before Christmas.
People really love that movie.
People love that movie. And so that was one I think I kind of just missed the whole wave of A Nightmare Before Christmas, because if you ever go to Disneyland in Southern California, like, at Halloween time or at Christmas time, they're doing like the haunted house and that whole theme. And like people love A Nightmare Before Christmas.
They love it. And so much so, like, what else I saw that was kind of considered a Christmas movie is Edward Scissorhands.
Oh.
Right. In the same kind of genre, because I think that takes place at Christmas time.
See, Edward Scissorhands, I could almost... That's right in the same time. I would almost call like Edward Scissorhands more of a Christmas movie than some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Than some like, what were you talking about before? Like Rocky IV or something like that?
Well, no, Rocky IV. So you haven't even brought that up yet. Rocky IV is 100% a Christmas movie. I know you won the Die Hard debate. Rocky IV, the fight takes place on Christmas Day. Like that's the fight is on Christmas. Like that's what he says in the press conference. Remember, he's like, it's on Christmas. And everyone's up, and he goes, that's what I've been told. Like he's fighting this fight based on what the Russians want because and it's on Christmas Day.
Again, I can accept the argument, but I don't know if I agree because again, throughout the movie, it's not like it's the theme of Christmas is sprinkled throughout. It's just it happens on the fight happens on December 25th.
Yes.
But I know you have very strong feelings about Rocky.
I love that movie. That's the best soundtrack Christmas. To work out to by far. And he trains in the snow.
Yeah. Now, another one you brought up that was kind of a debatable holiday-ish movie. Most people would call this a Halloween movie, but that's Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. So that was another one that they said could be a Christmas movie.
And it was interesting because we were talking about this because when he has the party for all his like people that are part of his tax.
Yeah, the guy down the hall.
His clients. I forget his name.
Rick Moranis' character.
Yeah. But
the gatekeeper.
That's kind of like a holiday get together party. And so that it could be debatable.
Yeah.
That's kind of a Thanksgiving to Christmas type movie.
Yeah, no,
Miracle on 34th Street, 1947. 1000% Christmas movie.
But it could be we talked about it could be a little Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Because it takes place on Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah.
And then goes into Christmas.
Yeah. So Brad put that in the chat, about Miracle on 34th Street. That one, I think, because we had talked about just before we started filming, that one's absolutely Christmas, more Christmas than it is Thanksgiving, just because it's like all about Santa. And it's all kind of everything's focused on the kind of the Christmas themes and stuff like that.
Well, then of course there's Elf. Then of course that's a Christmas movie.
That's a Christmas. That's non-debatable. I'm still torn on some of the ones we first mentioned. Right when Harry Met Sally.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Harry Met Sally, you could go kind of almost anywhere from like. Even almost before it's like because it's a fall. Like think of that the movie cover. Think of the movie cover. Them standing with the orange trees
that is
behind them.
Good Thanksgiving.
That kind of a Thanksgiving anywhere to New Year's Eve, right?
Yeah.
If I haven't watched that by Christmas time, I'll definitely watch that right around New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and I was thinking like what Western could be considered a Christmas movie.
Ooh,
And if you've ever seen The Three Godfathers with John Wayne,
no, I've never seen that.
it's a John Ford movie. It's a play on The Three Wise Men,
Oh, okay.
right? Because they get a baby and they have to bring it to New Bethlehem.
Oh, yeah.
And before she dies, she makes the three men there the godfathers of her baby.
Huh.
And they really, and one of the things she leaves is a Bible for the baby. And
So
so
that was what year did that come out? You said John Wayne?
it's John Wayne. I think it was in the 60s.
You said The Three Horsemen?
The Three
The
Godfathers.
Three Godfathers.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
It's a Western. So if you want to watch a Western, if you know any other Christmas Westerns, I couldn't think of any other Christmas Westerns.
Yeah, I think that'd be a tricky one. That
Yeah.
would be a tricky one. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear from folks who watch this after the fact, because again, this is a very impromptu kind of live stream that we just decided to do. And this will also be a podcast for the Talk with History podcast. So we'll publish the audio here soon. But I'd be curious to know kind of what your guys' thoughts are
Mhm.
on debatable holiday movies, whether they're Thanksgiving or Christmas, or your thoughts on any of the movies that we've mentioned this evening.
So my favorite movie of all time, a lot of people consider it a Christmas movie.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. It's my favorite movie of all
Well,
time.
yeah, I mean that's I don't think there's any argument that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no argument there.
There's no.
That's a Christmas movie.
Anytime
through
movie.
and through.
It's an anytime movie.
Yeah.
So what are we going to watch tonight?
Oh gosh, only because you brought it up. Now I kind of want to watch Trading Places.
I know that
'Cause
movie's so good.
That movie's so funny.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. But I'd say it's either that or just, and like we had said before we started filming, Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle. We
'Cause
haven't
just
seen it in a
haven't
while.
watched it in a while.
Mhm.
And that's surprisingly funny too, right? Like there's the scene with Tom Hanks talking with, it's like him and like the other couple.
Yeah.
And they start talking about
his real life wife.
some war scene.
No, she's talking about An Affair to Remember.
Yeah.
She's talking about the Cary Grant, Deborah Carr movie where Deborah Carr gets, they look at the top of the Empire State Building and she gets hit in the car accident and then she doesn't tell Cary Grant, but then she's crying.
Yeah.
And so the men are like, they don't feel that way about a movie. They're like, we've never felt, except for the Dirty Dozen. Remember the Dirty Dozen?
That's what it was.
And he throws the bomb down there and he's like, stop. And he's like, so they're trying to put like what women do when we remember a movie that really emotionally touches us.
Tom Hanks is incredible in that because he strikes that kind of rom-com, that balance that I think even guys enjoy. So
I think it's like the first one of his rom-coms, because Sleepless in Seattle will open the door for like You've Got Mail and all these other movies.
You've Got Mail could be a Thanksgiving movie.
You know what else is a Thanksgiving movie? What's the one where he's stuck on the island? Castaway. He leaves at Christmas. He leaves at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just because somebody leaves on a holiday in a movie does not make it that holiday movie.
And he opens kind of Christmas presents. That's kind of what the boxes are.
Yeah, but it still has to, just because something happens on the date, right? That doesn't push it into that realm. I see what you're saying.
Well, I think no. I mean, Die Hard takes place on Christmas.
I already explained that, right? I already explained that there's holiday themes all throughout. They're at a Christmas party, right? He writes ho ho ho. They're using that all the way through the entire movie.
That is so true. It is.
Now I kind of want to watch that movie too. So
no, we have a whole month.
We do have a whole month
to watch all these movies, which we usually do. We're very good about it, but yeah, I would like to hear what you guys watch for Thanksgiving. I want to hear what people's Thanksgiving movies are.
Even if you guys watch this after the fact, or if you're listening to this, please leave a comment. I want to know kind of what you guys are watching for Thanksgiving, what your favorite movies are for Christmas, because maybe there's some that we missed that we just haven't seen, and we didn't talk about every single one, Christmas movie out there. These were some of the more debatable ones, and then obviously some of the very obvious uber classics.
Yes. And there's some that I just watch that he won't watch, like The Family Stone and things like that.
You watch it every year.
I watch it by myself. Well, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah. Thank you.